Again, I just want to phrase that one more time to you. He ruled against the newly announced FEMA governor system, in which the federal government plans to take the power of elected state governors and put in the hands of federally appointed regional governors in case of an emergency. Now this is very, very important to say. Because FEMA and the federal government with Chernoff and Janet Napolitano, who's just a stooge at the time, which is really run by Michael Chernoff, and the rest of the people in this Homeland Security, they are regulating in Congress right now, just in case of an emergency, a national emergency that might occur. They are stating that if an emergency does happen, the regional governors of the country, which would be about 10 regions of this country, is going to be controlled not by the state's elected officials, which we have 50 representatives, but they would like to have 10 appointed federal governors to have control of 10 regional areas of the United States in case of an emergency. And Judge John Roll is against that. That's who Judge John Roll was against, besides the other topics that I just pointed out. Another thing, it's a rare judge these days that stands up to this BS or shows any interest in the Constitution at all. Okay? That's true. It's very rare where a judge these days stands up and defends the Constitution and goes against those regulatory systems and people who are against the Constitution. Ron Paul is one of them as well. Now it says, and he ended up dead in the parking lot of a Safeway supermarket at the hand of a lone nut, who local law enforcement allowed to run wild publicly, making violent threats against employees and school administrators. Now, this was Judge this was Judge John Roll. Judge John Roll was an appointment of the federal government overreaching its authority. He ruled against the federal imposition on states' rights in gun law matters. That's a strange one right there. Number 2, again, he ruled against elements of the Patriot Act, the part where federal law enforcement agents can seize your bank accounts without cause or permission. 3, he ruled against the newly announced FEMA governor system, in which the federal government plans to take the power of elected state governors and put in the hands of federally appointed regional governors in case of an emergency. This is who Judge John Roll was. And God bless him for his part of what he was trying to do to help this country on. And it's sad to see that a person like him we had to lose. And the other victims. Not to mention the poor little girl, Christina Taylor Greene, who was the youngest 9-year-old girl who was shot dead from this terrible shooting. I'm sorry I don't have all the names to the victims here. But again, it's funny that we hear of the Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. The only time I got to read about or hear about Christina Taylor Greene was first what I was reading here about Rachel Meadows using her name to demonize the radical right and those Ron Paul supporters and those Tea Party supporters. This is Rachel Meadows. And let's not forget Mark Potak of the Southern Poverty Law Center, who accuses or attacks David Icke for this attack. He demonizes the radical right once again, and Republicans, Tea Party members, freedom of speech members, and gun rights members of the Second Amendment. These are the people that Mark Potak, Rachel Meadows, and of course others like them attack. They attack people such as Republicans and the gun right people and the people for the Second Amendment, the Constitution, the Tea Party members and so forth, who had no, and this gunman Gerald Lochner was nothing to do with anything of Republican, much less anything of a radical right wing. I hope you like the show today. I'm working on a limited time here, but I will have more issues, and I hope again you like the show. You're free and willing to send your comments. I would love to hear from you, and thank you. Take care.